get to a timeshare scam because apparently we woke up and embraced chaos and misery. Me and my fiance decided to go to Las Vegas, and we decided, even though we have no children, to stay at the Hotel Treasure Island. So clearly you can see that we've had a habit of making terrible decisions. During our time at this hotel, we were then poached by one of the recruiters for Worldmark by Wyndham. And they came up to us and they're like, hey, would you like some free stuff? You just have to go to this timeshare scam. Now, I get it. It's a scam. We knew it was a scam. And I'm sure you're probably wondering, why would you go to this scam? Because inflation is really high. We're then funneled into the area where all of the people are waiting to meet their representatives. And this was when I noticed something really weird. It's small, but it'll come back. You see, one of the representatives met with the people who were sitting next to me, and then they kind of did their whole spiel, and part of their spiel was, hey, where did you come in from? Because clearly this is Vegas, everybody's flying in here, and they answered with, oh, we're from New York, to which this person then said, oh, that's so crazy. I used to live in the Bronx like my whole life. And then that's when I met my representative, who for legal reasons I can't use her real name, so let's just call her Melkor. So Melkor decides to go ahead and do her spiel as well, and part of that spiel is the same question as the other person. Where did you guys fly in from? And that's when we say, Sacramento. And then she looks at us and says, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I have family that live in Sacramento. So we follow Melkor into the room where we're going to go ahead and see the presentation. And during this process, she's trying to be all buddy-buddy with us. And this is something that she actually tells us, hey, I'm just going to be real with you. I want to be as transparent as humanly possible. I'm just going to give you best friend talk. So then we go ahead and watch the presentation. And for the first time in my life, I am now excited that I have ADHD. I'm just sitting back and telling my brain cells, go ahead, boys, do your magic. This is also a weird thing. It's a small thing, but it was very weird. I was sitting there bored and I just started cracking my knuckles. And as soon as I did that, Melkor started cracking her knuckles. And then when I got really weirded out by that, I waited about 10 minutes and then cracked my knuckles again, and Melkor started cracking her knuckles again too. What type of weird cult have I stumbled upon? The presentation luckily comes to an end. We're walking out of the room, and then Melkor's just kind of like, hey, how'd you guys feel about that situation? Now I'm thinking, great, this is the end. I can now be truthful and I can get my gifts. So I just said like, yeah, it's not for me, you know, because I have a brain. I stopped the charade a bit too early because this was when Melkor got mad. She started taking it personally and was just like, well, why? Why do you not want to do this? I mean, why, how dare you? Why would you do this? But luckily, between me and my fiance is the one who actually uses her brain, and she's still going along with the charade, and so good, by the way, that I'm actually worried. I'm looking at my fiance like, what the hell are you doing? It was the first time that I actually questioned whether or not we should get married. It was that good of a performance. And did it so well that Melkor was like, this chick's on my side. So now, because she thinks that my fiance is like all kind of like cozying up to her, she now sees me as the threat and she decides to try and break us up. Like, not like separate us, like actually end our relationship. Like, at one point, she actually looks at us and says, you know, you guys, if you guys are worried that you're not gonna make it together, you guys can buy the timeshare alone, just personally. Like, you don't have to do it together, you can buy it for your guys' selves. Who would say that to somebody that you're selling to? And then those tactics aren't working. So then she has another sales representative who, let's just call Sauron. And Sauron, by the way, is a bit more aggressive in her sales pitch. She just starts getting up in my face going like, why didn't you like it? What didn't you like about this? What's wrong with you? Then one of the examples that she uses was, well, hey, you're staying in this hotel right now here in Vegas, so what if it's like this? You like that hotel, so then you decide to buy that hotel, and now you don't ever have to rent it. But if you like it and didn't buy the hotel and wanted to come back, you would have to keep renting it and keep paying money. To which I told her, well, there's a flip side to that coin, Sauron. if I end up buying that hotel and realizing, you know what, I don't like this, I'm now locked into this forever. And then she looked at me and said, no, that's completely, I don't understand why you would even say that. Like, that's not even like an appropriate example to use. That's absolutely nothing like what I was just saying. So then Sauron and Melkor decide to go and take a break, and they just leave. And we're just sitting there kind of like, where's our free stuff? What's going on? This 90-minute presentation that we were told is now going to about hour 3. And that's when the third sales representative shows up and sits down and starts doing his weird presentation. Spoiler alert, his family was also from Sacramento. And it's at this point that I'm starting to lose my goddamn mind. I just want my free stuff. I just want to go. So I'm basically at that point where it's just, if they're gonna ruin my day, I'm gonna be weird and try to ruin theirs. Because he goes ahead and asks me what brought us into Vegas, and my answer was ladies of the night and blow. It's a pretty stereotypical joke for what people do in Vegas, right? I would think that immediately this guy would be like, ha 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 ha. So anyway, here's what I'm pitching. No, this guy's like, oh man, that's so crazy. Yeah, I do that all the time. And then he just starts going down the list of illegal substances that he's tried and loves. And this was the weirdest part. He didn't even pitch us anything. He just talks about all of the illegal substances that he loves to do, and then he just gets up and leaves. So then this other guy comes and sits down, and I've always kind of thought that villains who are super nice are always like the creepiest ones, because like they try to come off like, you know, hey, like we're best friends, but like, you know, then they do like their sinister psychopath stuff in the movies. This is what this guy was. So this dude is just gaslighting us left and right? He's just like, oh yeah, no man, like yeah, this doesn't seem like a right thing for you guys, right? Yeah, you should never do this again in the future. Let me take you up to the room so you can decide if you want to buy it or not, right? Like one moment he'll be like, yeah, this isn't for you guys, and then the next moment he'll be like, yeah, you guys should check this out because it's really great. He got weirdly racist toward Koreans at one point. That was weird. So we reunite with Melkor, and then she's given our sales pitch again, and at one point she's just like, hey, our reputation speaks for itself, all right? We have a glowing reputation. Look at our reviews. To which I pull out my cell phone immediately, and I look up the reviews, to which I'm like, Worldmark sued for sales fraud. That's the second thing that comes up, Melkor. We're finally able to get them to agree to put us into the last room, like the customer care survey room that we have to fill out before getting our gifts. We go sit in there, and then this new guy comes in. And one of the first things that I'm asking in my head is, how many families do you have that are in Sacramento? But then he looks at us, and he's just like, okay, so you wanted to buy the timeshare. Can I interest you in an upgrade? And I just cut him off immediately. No. We're not buying jack diddly, buddy, all right? We just want to get our free stuff and go. So the dude gets up, leaves, and then a new guy comes walking in. He sits down. I'm sure he has a bunch of families in Sacramento too. And he's just like, hey, here's the survey. So finally, we were able to get out of there and get our free stuff. A good few times, they would be like, yeah, you can leave. It's not like we're holding you hostage. You know what normal people don't ever say? Hey, it's not like we're holding you hostage. Because it's pretty clear that they're not holding you hostage. Like, no matter how much we tried, they wouldn't give us the free stuff until 3 hours into it. Finally, it was a war of attrition, and we finally just got them to budge. Like, they're not worth it. There's some old boomers that we can go ahead and take advantage of. Let's just give these kids their free stuff so we can take advantage of some 90-year-old with dementia. Because, you know, they have no morals or soul.